A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. Hello everybody, welcome to Tinpot, a Scottish football podcast. My name is Tom Leask, I'm your host for the next hour or so, joined by my two compadres, Andrew Guild.
Hello.
And I seems to be crying, Matthew Strugnall.
I thought I was just choking on my protein shake there.
You're drinking a protein shake?
Trying to bulk up, son.
Trying to bulk up, what have you got on the go?
No way, just endless amounts of protein shakes. I've been
What is that? What is that?
A sports bottle for fucking protein.
Yeah, I'm not cool
What
enough to
is
get the
that?
fancy bottle that they have with like the lid, with like the little thing on top.
Oh,
This is a sports
You're
one, a
not a gym
vanilla
bro.
ice cream protein shake. All they talk about on the Instagram is protein, so I've just been eating lots of chicken, eating endless amounts of protein bars, drinking this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, pouring this in my cereal and that, and I'm still not any bulk. I'm still not any muscular, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong, like, but protein
Maybe
apparently.
not working out?
Nah,
Is
mate,
a key
just-
component?
Just walking loads.
do you know get loads of powder stuck in that sports cap?
Give it a fucking big shake for a long time, so there's no power left. But I've the ratio of water to powder is too much water, so it's very thin. It's quite horrible. So I've got this to chase it with a wee Lucozade.
What's that? Lucozade alert?
Yeah, so
Lucozade
Just
alert.
make-
We're recording
delicious,
this at
that's
like
it.
almost 9 o'clock at night.
Your shits must be so bad, eating nothing
Yeah.
but protein and energy drinks.
son, today for my
Brutal.
lunch I had tuna and egg salad. So
Oh,
Fucking
I know.
hell. Must be like fucking Chernobyl in there. Jesus.
got sardines
They're
from
like
Aldi
that.
today as well. I'll blend that into this
Fucking
protein
hell.
shake for tomorrow. You ever seen the
You're gonna
episode
get
of Keenan and
divorced.
Kel where they make the special drink and they give it to people like to give them energy, but then it makes people fall asleep?
No.
And
I
Kel's
don't
dad's
remember
a air traffic controller, so they give it to Keenan's dad, and he drinks it and he falls asleep. And then Keenan and Kel have to go and land the plane. Classic episode.
that.
Keenan and
Oh
Kel.
my god.
Comment down below if
Fucking hell.
you've watched Keenan and Kel and you've seen that episode
Yeah,
where they make
please
the
do.
drink. It's a great episode.
Yeah, also comment if you put sardines in your protein shakes and
This is like some sort of jackass thing that he's doing, like a poo cocktail supreme. He's got fucking sardines, tuna, and
Yeah, I
egg
was
salad
saying
all
off
protein.
the pod that I mixed a Monster in with this protein shake the other day. It was not good.
hell, why?
The ultimate drink. Get your energy and your protein at the same time. But
What flavour of protein was it though?
it was
like
vanilla
something
ice
quite
cream. It didn't
milky.
work. It curdled.
Vanilla
it went,
ice cream.
it went milky.
What did you think it was going to be like?
No, I'm telling you because I had Vimto flavoured my protein, which was a fucking class. Tastes like Vimto. Mixed that with a Monster. It tasted great. This
I
protein
bet, yeah.
is a bit milky, so yeah, it curdled. It was lumpy, but I just necked it anyway because you got to get your protein in.
Wait, like fucking Dean Dodd.
I want
Like,
500 grams of protein a day. I've got to be like blooming Mike Israel.
fucking hell.
I'm doing the carnivore protein diet, so you just eat loads of carnivore meat,
Right.
and you neck loads of protein shakes.
Well, are you going to just
beef
do
broth.
that forever? Or?
Nah, I'm not really on the carnivore, but it seems a bit mental. I've seen some of the content like on social media about folk on carnivore diets. Like
You're turning
Yeah,
into
it's
Joe
mad.
Rogan, mate.
they eat like
So, that's all. He turn up next week just roaring like a
the
bear.
thing is, I don't like steak that much, so it would be a difficult one. Just eat chicken all the time.
You
Mm.
don't like steak?
I don't mind steak, but I refuse to pay the prices that for steak in a restaurant.
Get a minute steak. There you go. It's a good wee snack for you. Cheap as chips.
What's minute steak?
It's just like really, really thin bits of steak that you get out. Like you get a
Oh.
packet of them in the shop for like a couple of quid.
Cooks in a minute. That's the
Yeah,
plan.
that's it.
You get a good
Done.
deal in Marks and Spencers where you get like £8. You get like a meat, but they do like beef, or they do like duck, and then you get like noodles and a stir fry stuff for like £8.
Alright,
It's like good.
Mr. Fancy. Fucking hell.
Jesus, doesn't he want to pay for the steak, but he's happy to do all that.
no,
And
it's
that
like-
feeds
yeah,
Christ.
they've got duck and pheasant and
Not enough protein, though. It's a
Venison.
minuscule amount of duck. So I had to say, kids, I'm sorry, I need to take my protein intake today. You can have the noodles. I'll eat the ducks.
That's hilarious.
Let me guess, you buy
Fucking
the
hell.
protein egg noodles as well, bet you.
Oh, I bet he does, yeah.
Horrid.
We
Anthony
need to
Joshua,
do
the big man himself.
AJ.
Strong
Yeah, an
guy.
end of your protein regime body reveal to see how shredded you get, or how bulky you get.
I know. If
I
I had
mean-
protein buns from the Nooch, I'd be even bulkier.
That's it. Well, they would be carbs, you see, so...
How do the
potato
vegans
buns,
get
true.
their protein, Tam? How do you think the vegans get their protein?
beans and stuff like that.
lentils.
Oh, they stink
Yeah,
worse to me then,
pulses.
no?
No,
Stick
I
with
think
me.
so. If you're having like
Not if
sardines
it's
and
constant,
curdled drinks and stuff, I think you're going to be
Hurdles way. That's the song, no Long Came Muffet. Sat in a tuffet eating
That's
her
right.
curdled protein whey.
That's it.
Oh, what a start to this episode of a Scottish football podcast. It's unbelievable.
Science and sport.
Oh,
When I mixed my
it's
monster
a
in this
sports
bad
ball.
boy, it's a science, a fucking science experiment gone wrong the other day. Speaking of, though, on the positive side, I had a cream egg Oreo the other day. Have you seen them in the shops?
No.
It's like an Oreo with like
No.
cream egg sort of filling, so it's like the Oreo filling, but it tastes like cream egg. It was
Wait.
decent,
Wait, Oreo filling.
Oreo
but it tastes
filling,
like
so
a
it's-
cream
but
egg.
it's the same texture as Oreos.
Wasn't it just
filling.
a cream egg?
It's an Oreo biscuit, but you know in Oreo they have
Yeah.
the white cream, like
Yeah.
the texture. Like, it's the same texture, but it's like cream egg flavour. So there's a bit of white and a bit of yellow in it.
that's wank.
Oh right, sorry.
The inside of a
thought
cream
you
egg
meant-
just tastes like sugar. It's just icing.
I thought you meant an Oreo cream egg, like as in
No,
an egg that was an
No,
Oreo.
Oreo with cream egg in it. I had a fucking neck in them thinking get the good protein intake from those eggs, but apparently that's just full of sugar. There's no egg in cream egg.
Like, oh god.
So there you go.
love
Another
a
joke
cream
by
egg.
there.
Oh, that was a joke, was it? So I thought
You
you were
laugh.
serious.
You laugh.
Laughing at you. Oh dear, unbelievable. Welcome along,
Brilliant.
anyway, to episode 33. Coming up in this episode about Scottish football, not just all about protein. We're going to be introducing a new feature which was suggested today by Matthew. Maybe he's taking some crazy pills today
I was
because he's
high
coming
on
up with new
protein,
ideas
I
for the
was-
pod. He's eating all the protein. And that segment is going to be, what's the point? That's the title of the new segment. So Matthew will explain how that works a bit later on, and his first suggestion for a discussion around what's the point. We're going to have a quick discussion about a few things from the weekend, a few Scottish national team players having some heroics, so we'll get to that in plenty of time, and we're going to end up with a quiz as we always do, so that's roughly what to expect over the next wee while. So, Matthew, without further ado, what's the point?
Yeah, so as you say, introducing a new segment as it's the new year. So what's the point, or what's the point in ... So each week I thought maybe one member of the team can sort of debate or lead a debate about, you know, what's the point in something. So for example, what's the point in VAR, or what's the point in footballers wearing gloves to keep their hands warm, or what's the point in Bovril? I was just thinking about these today. What's the point in Bovril? Like,
To keep their hands warm. You kind of just answered the question.
Yeah, but come on, how cold are you going to be
What's the
running
point
about?
in players wearing gloves to keep their hands warm?
No, I was thinking it because I was pushing the buggy at the weekend. It was freezing, and my hands were freezing. I was wearing my gloves. I was thinking this is nice. But when I'm playing football, I'm like running about and I'm roasting. And everything's hot, sweating. So why would you care if your hands were cold if you're playing a fucking physical? Anyway, what's the point in Bovril? Again, I was thinking that day because I was drinking delicious protein drinks and they were sweet and tasty. I was thinking, who wants to drink boiled gravy? Not me. So what's the point? Also, what's the point in football in the winter? Anyway, that's just leading up to the point.
There's
Too
quite
cold.
a lot you're covering in a reasonable amount of detail.
These are examples of what might be coming in the following weeks. No topics off the table, anything's up for debate. So today it's me kicking off. And you know I like to say things tongue in cheek, so hopefully no one takes offence to my first what's the point in, or especially those up in Aberdeen that Tam may or may not work with that support the Dons, I don't know. Or any colleagues that used to play for Aberdeen, I don't know who they are, but there might be some. What's the point in Aberdeen Football Club of the city?
Oh.
What's the point in Aberdeen FC?
What's the
Wow.
point in Aberdeen FC? I was listening.
Make your
to
point here.
Yeah, I might go back to the gloves in football. I don't know. I was listening to Sports Sound and coverage from the game at the weekend, and they were just saying how abject and sort of pathetic Aberdeen were. Derek Ferguson was very brutal and probably fair. I think he was saying that the players looked like they couldn't be bothered. They couldn't be arsed. They were happy to get off the pitch. They were the ones doing the time wasting to try and slow the game down. And I was just thinking to myself, this is a season where Hearts are top of the league. Rangers and Celtic have had their wobbles. The league's wide open. Aberdeen have spent millions of pounds over the last 18 months, backed a manager that clearly wasn't up to it, have an incredible fan base with incredibly loyal supporters, a massive stadium. But what's the point in them? They've never come close in recent times. They had a few seasons under McInnes where they were up there at the top. Could say that was because Rangers weren't there. But I mean, they've had such a long time to grow this squad, to grow the club, make correct decisions, but they just seem to be, since McInnes left, it's just been a wrong decision after wrong decision, whether it be the manager, the recruitment, Neil Warnock, as we mentioned the other day. And a quick one on Neil Warnock, I forgot to say at the time. You know, an anagram, apparently an anagram of Neil Warnock is Colin Wanker. That's class, right? Colin Wanker. They've had the chance to grow themselves into the third force or second force or whatever you want. They've spent the money wrongly, they've brought in the wrong players. Now they've got this random sort of ragtag squad of foreigners and sort of old school Scottish players and young players, and they're talking about wanting to ship them all out and rebuild the squad that they've just spent millions of pounds on. So I'm thinking, what's the point in Aberdeen? Why are you not better? Do better. Be better. You could be up there, really, because Hearts win the league. That could have been Aberdeen, but things have just not gone well for them, and whose fault is that, I don't know. So yeah, what do you guys reckon?
Yeah.
Aberdeen in the bin or Aberdeen for the win?
I'll let you lead this one, Tam, as a sort of part-time Aberdonian.
Yeah, not used to being on the receiving end of the questions here, to be honest.
What's the vibe up in Aberdeen, Tam, when you're there?
What's the point in Aberdeen? The point is, to answer your question, because I suppose that is what we're doing here. What's the point in Aberdeen? The point is, they've not won anything, like you say, since the 80s.
Well, they got the Scottish
apart
Cup,
from the odd, I mean, Scottish Cup
trophy
last year and a League Cup under. Did they win a League Cup under McInnes? No.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Should they be challenging for?
But what you're saying is they've underachieved. The be all and end all of a football club isn't winning everything that you should be winning. It's the fans. It's the fans that make Aberdeen for me. Really quite loyal fans, I think, and bring a great atmosphere wherever they go. We saw that at the cup final. We spoke about that in quite a lot of depth on episode 1. It was just after the cup final. I remember it quite distinctly. Was it Tannadice this year, and they came away in their numbers, and even though they were playing shit and going through a really bad run, came through in good numbers and supported their team. I think it's all about the fans. You see how much that cup meant to them with the sort of bus parade up in Aberdeen. And it's easy for a team to be as high as they were in the 80s to then sort of fade away as they did in the 90s and 2000s to then almost give up and crowds dwindle, which they would have done to an extent. But yeah, I think that's what Aberdeen's all about. What's the point in Aberdeen? They're fans.
That's fair. I mean, I take Matthew's sort of broad point that I think that not necessarily the fan base, but I do think that on the pitch they're losing their identity big time. Nobody really knows who they are anymore. What's Aberdeen's style of play? What's their recruitment sort of process or ethos or whatever? Don't really know. And that's why they're finding themselves in a tricky situation at the moment. I think that it'll be very telling to see if the King Penguin has turned things around for them, because they need that stability. They need a good appointment now to try and harness that identity. And as much as the fans, I do take that, that the Aberdeen fans are are decent, apart from sort of throwing chairs and cups and all sorts of other things, and not turning up much for last night. But anyway, they're decent in comparison to other teams that I suppose are fairly sparse there. But I think that it's only going to get trickier to attract fans if they've got this misidentity on the pitch, and somebody needs to get a handle of it, whoever it is. I don't know whether it's the owner, whether it's the new director of football, or whatever it is. They need to get a handle on it pretty quickly, because as you said earlier, the big point is the money that they've spent. Should they be really, really struggling to get top six, especially this season? No, is the answer. So this needs to be nipped in the bud quickly.
I think their whole plan was that maybe there wasn't a plan, and there was some debate on Sports Sound again between Tom English and Michael Stewart about whether there was a 3-year plan for Jimmy Tilleen. But certainly they've been buying players, proving they're ambitious. They're spending the money to try and compete at the top. But the fact of the matter is they've spent it wrongly, or they've spent it poorly. They've just, the amount of players, you read that squad and you look at the list of players, you're like, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? It's like there's a new name popping up every week. You don't know who they are. So I think they need to go back to basics with recruitment. Like we said the other day, have they tried to unearth gems to sell them for? It doesn't seem like they're even doing that, because
no,
there's not even one player you can think that in the last year and a half that they've bought that's really been worth anything, make any profit on. And obviously Jimmy Tilleen, on the face of it, he started well, he won the Scottish Cup, but it was never really convincing, and perhaps he should have done a Tottenham Hotspur and said thanks for the trophy, but I'll see you later. But they gave him this season to try and work it out, and we know he had a small uptake in positive results, but ultimately it was difficult to watch for Aberdeen fans.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Hearts on the other end of that, they're getting it right. And then you're thinking, that could have been us. We could be up there. You spend that money, you can't be languishing in the bottom half of the table.
I would say with Hearts, obviously they've had a huge addition with the recruitment analytics, but in comparison to a Hibs, in comparison to a Motherwell, certainly, a much higher budget than Motherwell, but should be on par with, or possibly higher than, Hibs. That's where they should be in the top six comfortably. They definitely should be. But then they've at the moment got Falkirk ahead of them. They've got Dundee United ahead of them at the moment. Which is, they're off the boil, and they've had difficulties. With high turnover of players. Being really, really restricted on the recruitment markets they can target. Had to really sort of live within their means. Same with Falkirk. Those two teams that are now ahead of them. That's a huge worry. But yeah, they could have been a Hibs. They definitely could have been where Motherwell are. But they're just not much of a threat at all.
I think we're
this season.
I think we're doing what everyone on social media does now, and it's like jumping on something for one bad season, or since McInnes left, if you want to go that far, Matt. So a good or a bad few seasons, about 5-6 years. But cast back to the sort of start of 2000 when we all started watching football. It's always going to be Rangers Celtic, so we're not debating those two. It's between Hibs, Hearts, and Aberdeen for the biggest budget, or being third, the third biggest team in Scotland. And it was Hearts that broke through in sort of 06, where Romanov and finishing second and winning the Scottish Cup. And Hibs around that time were really competitive as well, the early 2000s. They had a great squad, young Scottish players, the Riordans, O'Connors, Thompsons, Browns, Whitakers, etc. Aberdeen they'd fallen off at that point, same as United. United were shite in the early 2000s. And then it flipped around about 2010. United had a good period, got to a few cup finals in a row, won a major trophy, had good young talent in the likes of Gold and Armstrong, Mackay-Steven, Good Willie, Russell, etc. And then the next sort of 10 years that followed that, or 5-6 years that followed that, Hibs, Hearts, United were all relegated at one point, and Aberdeen were constantly, apart from one or two seasons where Motherwell were second, When Rangers were down, Aberdeen were up there. Now, so the only thing I think that Aberdeen have failed to do in the last 20, 30 years is win more trophies when Rangers were down the leagues and when Hearts, Hibs and United were relegated. They should have maybe had 1 or 2 more trophies in that time because all they were competing with was Celtic. But in the same breath, you're coming up against that Celtic team in quite a few finals. They had one lost final against St Mirren, was it? No? When St Mirren won the League Cup in 14? They beat Hearts. Who did they get beat by? Was it Cali that beat Aberdeen?
No, Aberdeen beat Cali in the League Cup final.
They beat someone that wasn't Celtic anyway in a cup final in that time. So my point is that right now Aberdeen aren't doing too well, but just because you've got the 4th biggest budget or whatever it is in the league doesn't mean you're always going to finish 4th. So I think it's a bit harsh to say.
They should have built something though. They should have built it better. They've got Aberdeen. They're Aberdeen up there themselves up there. They've got all this power. They should have built a fucking dynasty, son. They could have built a glorious.
It's easy to say that because Hearts are top of the league, though. It's so like, if this was any other season and Hearts were 3rd, Hibs were 4th, Motherwell were 5th, Aberdeen were 7th or 8th, still with a chance of getting 6th. You can't expect a team out with the Old Firm to build what Hearts have done. Like, no one saw it coming, really, that they would go on this quickly to achieve what they have. So I don't think it's that much of a travesty. And when you say build a dynasty, Hibs and Hearts and Aberdeen have all had the same opportunities to do that. Hearts now are, but as of last season, Hearts were shite. And no one was saying the same thing, like, what's the point in Hearts? Maybe I'm taking this too seriously. But
I suppose Hearts and Hibs have dealt with relegations over, such an extended period of time as well. Whereas Aberdeen haven't, and they've stayed in the Prem, which is a positive, of course. But, they've only came 3rd once in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not coming 3rd this season, so in 8 seasons, which is pretty poor, I would say, considering you look at the rebuilding that Hibs and Hearts have had to do, so I think they've been off the boil for a bit too long, and you want a strong Aberdeen in that league to be really competing and pushing teams, like Hibs and Hearts are doing at the moment, Motherwell are doing just now. You really want them to be pushing and doing that, and having an off season, there's nothing wrong with that. And each one of those teams that I've just named is capable of that. But Aberdeen have been underperforming, in my opinion, over the course of the last 8 seasons. Without a doubt, that's what I think anyway.
Aye, and I think every club can go through a 5 to 10 year spell of underperforming, but maybe that's too long for a team as big as Aberdeen with that fan base and that infrastructure to be unsuccessful. Maybe that's your point, Matt.
Yeah, I'm worried now. I've brought this up at the wrong time because Wraith's playing Aberdeen at Pittodrie, so I can't show my face up in Aberdeen. I was planning to go to the game. I'll have to get all iced up and get my mask cover my face. But they'll pin that on the wall, or they'll get the recording playing over the tannoy. They'll get the players really fucking G'd up for the game on Saturday.
Do you think Emery can get a result up at Pittodrie?
Not anymore. No, we can't score.
No?
We can't score. They can't score. We can take them to 0-0, get them penalties.
Not that we do predictions anymore, but give us a realistic score prediction.
1-0 Aberdeen.
1-0 done.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Well, that was a tongue-in-cheek thing. We all love Aberdeen. We all want Aberdeen to be good. That's the thing. I'm not saying it. I'm saying it out of love. I'm saying it out of love. We want competitive teams in the top flight. We want Rangers and Celtic to get shook. And it's just disappointing that Aberdeen haven't been the team to do it consistently. But Dave Cormack's got deep pockets, so it could still happen.
Yeah, it's just he's just not showing it in the right way. That's the problem. That's the thing. And I think this is where this managerial appointment really is make or break, in my opinion, for Aberdeen, because otherwise they're going to go down another rabbit hole, with questionable recruitment and it's another project. I agree with what Tam was saying with Tilleen. Kind of looked a bit like a a multi-year project. But I don't think they can really afford that. Certainly with someone that's not guaranteed to maybe get them a result, they maybe need to be looking at, I know we've privately discussed it, but a John McGlynn, to try and jump in and steady the ship. But I don't know what you guys
Strug
think.
his eyes. Yeah, Strug his eyes.
I know
just lit
that
up,
Tam's
didn't they?
got some. I don't know if you still got them to hand, Tam, but you did some research on John McGlynn.
Matt's permitted me to use some stats on this episode. Normally he says vibes only, no stats.
Don't do that, no stats. So I don't bother myself.
Yeah, so we were briefly discussing on sort of lunch break this afternoon over the WhatsApp group about John McGlynn and what an incredible performance he's put in. I think it was you, Andrew, that shared the graphic which showed in 22-23 season when he took over at Falkirk, or 21-22 season, can't remember. They'd finished the previous season on 44 points in 7th place in League One, and now they're sitting in the table on, is it 30 points after 22 games in 6th place.
Mad.
So that's the rise. I mean, 2 back-to-back promotions, as we know, and the smallest budget in the league by quite a bit. So the stats around it were that he's had a net spend of 0 since he took over. He's not spent any money on players, and he's also not really brought anything in. The market value of their squad's about £4 million, which is 12th in the table. The next team up in 11th place in that table is on £6 million. The average market value of a Premiership player is about £1 million. Obviously, that's heavily inflated by the Old Firm, but the Falkirk squad's average player value is 170k. So that's what they're playing with. In terms of salaries, their salary budget for a year is 1.6 million, and the average for the league is 7.6 million.
That's mad.
If you put that in sort of English Premier League terms, it's the equivalent of Burnley currently sitting in sort of 5th in the English Premier League.
It's crazy.
What would be saying about Scott Parker, for example, as a manager, if he'd managed to do that with Burnley, he'd be tipped for the next fucking England job, or he'd
Bloody
be tipped
Vincent
for
Kompany got the Bayern job and he took them bottom of the league. Fucking, they were 5th under Scott Parker. He'd be getting fucking, I don't know. He's better than Bayern Munich. Brazil. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but so John McGlynn's not even being looked at, though. That was the confusing thing. That's where we sort of tied it to the Aberdeen chat, because like you said, Andrew, it's the most crucial managerial appointment they're going to have made in a number of years. They've had 4 mistakes now with managers, like permanent managers anyway, with sort of Goodwin, I think Glass, Robson, was he permanent as well?
He
and
got the job for a bit,
and Tulane.
Yeah.
So this next one is absolutely vital, because they're crashing down and out. They really need to bounce, try and finish 6th from a financial standpoint, but also to keep the fans on board, keep season tickets high for next year. So John McGlynn's not being looked at, as far as we're aware in the media. So what do you think the reason is for that, and is that going to be a big mistake?
Me or
Yeah, I think it will be.
they think they're too good for him, Andrew. I think they think they're too good for John.
Well, this is the thing. I know. I think today they said there's a pretty long list to get through, but I think the manager that's been sort of tipped as favourite is the Bochum manager. Who's in second division in Germany. It's not to say that would be a horrendous appointment, but why take the gamble? Like, why? You could potentially end up in a playoff spot. At this rate, if you get it really wrong. I've already seen a couple of examples of manager appointments going really, really wrong this season. But doing it at this point, for Aberdeen, for the position they're in, I think would be crazy. But how can you overlook John McGlynn? And if you've got the budget like Aberdeen do, clearly, you pay the compensation, and you go for it. You make the approach and see if you can make it happen. From John McGlynn's perspective, I mean, I'm not sure why you wouldn't do it. It's regardless of what anyone says, it is a big step up, and he would bring great stability there, and also would have the trust of the Aberdeen fans, in the sense that if he did need a bit of time or if the worst came to worst that they did get relegated through a playoff or whatever, and they needed to come back up, they'd feel really confident that he would be the man to do it, and he'd be the man to then, rocket them up to the top six and be competing, in the top 3 or 4. I just don't see how he can be overseen.
You're saying, like, I don't know why McGlynn wouldn't go there. And it was weird because I was thinking the whole time you were speaking, before you announced that, I was thinking, why the fuck would he want to? And then, so we've got completely opposite views there. He's at Falkirk, where he's absolutely adored. He's achieving something that is going to go down in their history books, most likely, if they finish in the top 6 this season. They're only 5 points behind Hibs with a game in hand. And they're probably the more consistent of the two teams across this season, I would say. I don't know. But he's settled down here, clearly, because he's been in this job for a wee while. I think most of his jobs have been down this way. So then to uplift everything, to go up there, the only incentive for him to go into what is currently a shit show at Aberdeen, and has been for 5-6 seasons, is financial gain. And I don't know the guy, I've never fucking spoken to him, but I don't think he's motivated by that. It's not like, you're sitting on a 400 grand a year contract here and Saudi's offering you 10 million a year. It's not that sort of jump.
No, but
he's been in the game long enough.
It's a bigger club, though. There's no doubt about it. It's a bigger club. But they have a much richer history. Not just domestically, but in Europe as well. There's much more opportunity there. Whereas where he is with Falkirk, yes, he could finish the season, have a great season. Of course he could, and he's already had a brilliant season. Regardless of what happens, if they have a horrendous run of form now, he can still hold his head high. But Falkirk has a glass ceiling there. You can't really do much more with that next season. They're going to have to invest seriously in the infrastructure side. They need a stand to complete their stadium, so the investment in that squad, is not going to all of a sudden just appear out of nowhere. Whereas Aberdeen, there's a possibility to actually do something interesting in the market. There's a possibility to maybe try and spark the youth academy. There's so many more opportunities there than you would get from a Falkirk, who have gone immediately from, being right on the ropes to not having really, much infrastructure at all, to then going straight on this run all the way to the Prem. So that it's a much more attractive proposition.
And I agree, but I don't think he's going to leave now, is my point. He's got 5 months left of this season. He'll want to be the guy who took them from 7th in League One to, say, 5th, 6th in the Scottish Premiership. And like you say, what else can Falkirk achieve past that? Like next season, not very much. At best, they'll achieve the same league position, maybe try and get to a cup final. So I get like the glass ceiling, fully understand it. I just don't think he's going to leave now and be remembered as the guy who got them halfway to finishing 6th.
Yeah,
because for 5 months of waiting,
well, 5 months of waiting. But you say that, but at the same time, the Hibs job's not going to become available. The Hearts job's not going to become available. The Aberdeen job will be gone because someone will have taken it halfway through the season.
They've been by this time next year.
But he's waiting for the big one. The big one after the World Cup.
The Scotland job.
He's waiting for the big one.
In all seriousness, that might be the only way that you wouldn't
John.
then take that opportunity. But no, I mean, it's all about timing. If this pops up and he's not maybe thinking about something like that, then he needs to take it whilst it's there. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think we're all obviously hypothesising because it's all moot. I mean, Aberdeen aren't, as far as we're aware, approaching them. But two different sides of the coin. Matthew, McGlynn, would it be good for Aberdeen? Would it be good for McGlynn's career? You're sort of quiet on the
I know it's an interesting debate because in one way he could completely fucking just bomb Aberdeen, who have swallowed up managers in recent times, good managers as well. Good win. I think McGlynn's a strong enough personality to succeed at Aberdeen, and I agree with Andrew's point about youth players. He's not afraid to play young players. Look at that Falkirk team. Look where he brings the players in from. Barney Stewart from the University League or whatever he was playing. Finn Yates, young player. He brought in Adams, the right back from the Lowland Leagues or whatever as well. The guy knows a transfer, and he would sort Aberdeen right out. He would get the value for money on players. He has been a scout, or he certainly worked for Celtic in the capacity of doing some scouting. He knows the markets and I wouldn't trust John McGlynn in my life. So I would certainly trust him.
So we all agree on that point.
Bring in some good players. I think it would be great. And then I agree with you, Tam. I don't think he'll take it. He would definitely do well, but I think he wants to sort of do a football manager style journey with Falkirk, and he's currently on that at the moment. Like, he's going to complete it soon. I think he gets them into like Europe or wins a cup or something like that.
Falkirk completed it, mate.
Completed, like. But yeah, John. Another shout out to John if you're listening. You're the man, John. Come back to the Rovers.
Go and sing the song again for us.
McGlynn, John McGlynn. He's got no hair, but we don't care. John McGlynn. There's also another one where we'd say like John McGlynn's Barmy Army, but there'd always be some mad boy at their front. They'd be like, John McGlynn, and we'd Barmy Army, John McGlynn, Barmy Army, John McGlynn, Barmy Army. That'd go on for like 10 minutes. I swear. The boy was by the end of it. He was like dying. Barmy Army. I don't know where that boy is now, but whatever you are, mate, that was class.
If you're listening, let us know.
Too much John McGlynn, but yeah, John McGlynn, Scotland manager. You heard it here first. We predict things at Tinpot, and that's my prediction.
That was a long time ago as well, wasn't it? That was about 5 months ago.
No.
That was when Steve Clarke hadn't got us to the World Cup.
Yeah.
John McGlynn wouldn't buy that Yengi boy for Aberdeen. He knows better than that.
The guy that you tipped to be top goal scorer.
Never been seen since.
Absolutely awful. Oh dear. Anything else on John McGlynn or on that Aberdeen vacancy?
That's what. Do we agree? What's the point? There's a point to Aberdeen. I think we agree then. There's no point in gloves. There is a point in Aberdeen. So
there is, but we want them back to,
want you
what
better,
they could
Aberdeen.
be.
Come on.
You know? Yeah, definitely.
Do better.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's the thing. If they do get back to where they were, then like in a year or two's time, we'd be on here saying, "What's the point in Hibs?" Because Hibs will be doing shit. Like, not every team can be doing well all the time. That's the thing.
Okay, next week we'll talk about
Aberdeen have been too long from doing well.
We'll talk about gloves next week. Then that's what we'll do. So
gloves, okay. Great way to get the listeners to tune back in for next week. It's going to be gloves, folks. Just half an hour on gloves.
Footballers wearing gloves specifically, not just gloves. You ever worn mittens
I'm
before?
going to ask. Not on the football pitch, no.
Nah, because
not on the football pitch.
I had my son had mittens on the other day because he obviously just chucks his gloves off. But when you have mittens, they're like tied together and you wrap them in his jacket, so he can't. If he pulls them off, they just stay in the jacket, sort of vibe. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Such a pointless story.
Nice.
Oh, incredible. I'd like our listeners to do us a favour and hit the like button if you like Matthew's new segment that he's introduced. Let us know by just hitting that like button. If it gets the most likes of any video we've had so far, or on Spotify, then we'll know that Matthew is the sort of lead coordinator for ideas on Tinpot moving forward. So smash that like button if you like Matthew's What's the Point segment.
Point in. What's the point in?
What's the point in stuff here, I'd say.
What's the point in?
Catchy title, is it?
Dot. What's the point in? And then you just fill in the blank. What's the point in Bovril? What's the point in...
People were about to hit like for you there, now they've just changed their mind.
Get the name right, then that's probably going to affect the listeners' opinions if you don't miss at the end. Now they know it was the point in.
Okay, hit the like button if you like the segment and comment. Should it be called What's the Point or What's the Point in ... Oh,
yeah,
God.
Dundee fan, you can argue with yourself in the comments.
Dundee fan. Shout out to the Dundee fan, our one and only commenter.
Legend.
But Dons fans, if you're listening, let us know your thoughts. None of us are Aberdeen fans, so we could be completely barking up the wrong tree here. Our opinions aren't worth shit because we don't watch the team anywhere near as much as you do. We don't care anywhere near as much as you do. So let us know: are we bang wrong, or are we bang right? Right, on to what I mentioned at the top of the show, which was a weekend of show-stopping moments from a couple of Scotland internationals. We're going to start locally with Craig Gordon's last-minute save up at Dens to give Hearts the 1-0 victory. They were down to 10 men. Shvolov was sent off for a last-man challenge, and Craig Gordon came on aged 43, I think, for maybe his first league appearance of the season. And yeah, in the dying part of the game, there was a header down to his left-hand side and pulls off a worldy save. People are comparing it to, was it Shilton against Pele back in the day? And
Gordon
yeah, the
Banks.
celebrations are Gordon Banks, sorry, not Shilton. Yeah, Gordon Banks against Pele. And yeah, the players' celebrations at the end, they were rushing towards them as if they just scored a goal. When the full-time whistle went, it was all about Craig Gordon. And does that sort of create a problem for Steve Clarke? Is he now number one pick, even if he's not playing every week? Any thoughts on the save itself, Andrew? Or
no, this is everyone's got so carried away with this. Like,
he's 43 years old.
It's a good save, but fucking hell, like I've never seen so much coverage of, like for one save. Like I watched like Shaggy do this week in, week out. Like it's fine. Like it's absolutely fine. Like they're like, oh my god, he's going the completely wrong way, and he comes around to save it. It's like, well, it looks like he is for ages in slow motion, but in real time, he's not even had a chance to take a step to his right, and he's then dived to the left and saved it. It's a good save. It's not a world class save. Like, come on, like get.
You're joking.
How is that not a world class
save?
Are you
mental? It wasn't a bullet. Okay, it wasn't a bullet header. It wasn't like it didn't like you didn't need to have like incredible athleticism to make that save. It was a good save, a very good save, and it's one. If you're watching the game, you're like, that's brilliant. And obviously, where Hearts are at the moment, it's absolutely a critical time for them to not drop points. So the importance of it is right up there, but it's not like they've just won the league with it. It's not. It's just not. It's a good save. It's nothing more than that. Like, that's it.
Because he's 43. He's 43. He shouldn't be playing. He's the oldest goalkeeper in the world. He's the oldest goalkeeper. No one's older than him. But you're saying, well, should he be Scotland's number one on the back of that save? He absolutely high. Like, if you fucking 50 by the time the World Cup comes around, like Angus Gunn's need a game to even make a save, man. At least Craig Gordon's still got his fucking wits about him. He's sharp as attack. He's the tallest.
So you would put Gordon in instead of Angus Gunn then?
Yeah, I think he deserves it.
Fair enough.
He was so.
That's mental.
He came in for those games and he did us proud against Greece and Denmark. There's nothing wrong with him. Both of them are.
I'm not saying he's a bad keeper either. Like,
you wouldn't play him against in the World Cup.
No, if Angus Gunn was available, no.
I like Gunny, but Sam, I know you're a Gordon man.
I mean, it's a good problem to have, isn't it? The fact, so all the things that make up a good goalkeeper, you need to be really. I think you really need to be sort of football smart. You need to be able to read the game. You need to be able to pay attention. You need to distribute well. But the one thing that probably goes faster than all of the things I've just mentioned when you do get older is your reflexes, your ability to get down fast. And there was maybe questions because we hadn't seen him play for a little while. And I think maybe that save does answer some of those questions. So it's a good problem to have. I'm not getting carried away and worried about who should start for Scotland at the World Cup. That's a bit of a side question. But it's a phenomenal save, Andrew. We're going to watch it back. We've got, courtesy of Sky Sports' Twitter account here, or X account. We do not own any of these materials just before we get sued. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see what we're looking at here. How is this not better than just a good save? It's an unbelievable save.
All the fans think it's in. It's bloody in.
As I said, it's a really good save, but like...
Oh, he's graduated from good to really good.
No, well, rewind the fucking tape. Like, that's what I said. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad save. Like, that's the thing, but it's not a bullet header. He's not taking even a step to his right. Like, he is intending on going the other way, and he comes around and makes a great save. It's fantastic. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not... the amount of attention it's got is insane. Like, just like everyone's so carried away with a save. Like, I've seen so many of these. Like, season after season. Like, it's not like a. I don't understand how it's a talking point.
He's had to dive backwards to get the ball pretty much out the net and like almost scoop it out. Like,
he's 43.
Okay.
It's better than really good. It's brilliant. It's maybe not world class, maybe not the best save of all time. I think the comparison to the bank save.
You're saying it was world class.
No. I didn't say it was world class. Don't put words in my mouth.
And then you said you should be playing instead of Angus Gunn.
I didn't say that.
That was me.
Easy, peeps.
I think that the moment, the timing of the save, the Hearts momentum, the whole thing makes it so
It all adds
important.
to it, yeah.
It adds to
100%. Yeah,
the thing.
it's right at the end of the game.
Which feeds into Andrew's narrative that it's been overhyped because of the moment and because Hearts are going for the
Potentially,
league and all
but
these
it was
things.
a
And
great moment.
Yeah.
Like, and but I'm asking the question: are Hearts wobbling a bit, mate? They've struggled to beat Livingston. They've struggled to beat Dundee. Do they have enough?
Yeah.
but did they win?
Yeah, but will they have enough in the tank when it comes to these bigger games? They look fucking dead on their feet.
Did they win?
Did they win? Yes, they did. But
With
will
10
they,
men?
I'm saying, will they gas themselves out, and then the galloping horses of the old firm will just fucking stride past them in the last? That's my worry about Hearts at the moment. But they did win.
Yeah, I would say the Livingston result was maybe a little bit questionable. There was quite a lot of Tetchy fans, at that game. But you've got to remember, Dundee have claimed some big scalps, throughout the season, and they're not an easy team to play actually. So
Yeah.
to grind out a win, with 10 men, as Tam said as well, your first choice keeper coming off.
Yeah.
That's pretty big, and to be champions you need to be able to grind out results. So that was one there. Obviously, a big moment with Craig Gordon there, as obviously we've covered off. But that kind of save, will push the mentality and the belief even further. If that had went in, then the heads maybe would go down, and they maybe would go on a bad run, potentially. But they do have St Mirren next. They do have then Falkirk after that. You should be seeing them win those games. The game against Celtic's big, a really, really big one near the end of the month. So we'll see where both teams are at that point. But you've got to be able to grind that out. And a 1-0 win, both Rangers and Celtic would have taken a 1-0 win over Dundee at any point of the season now. So no shame.
I would
in
argue
that.
as well that Hearts have already been through their sort of test and spell. But they went through 6 games where they drew against St Mirren, they drew against Dundee United at home, they got beat by Aberdeen away, they then drew with Motherwell, then drew with Killie. Their next game after that bad run of form was Celtic away at Parkhead, and they went and won it, and bounced back with 3 wins, one of them against Rangers. So they've already been tested. I was saying this to my mate at work, who's a Hearts fan. Like, a lot of people are saying, Hearts are going to fall away. And I'd understand that if you've done a Jimmy Tilleen and you're 10 games in and you've, say, won 10, 11 games in a row, because that's only one, you're only playing each team once at that stage. It's so easy to then fall away. They've gone through testing moments, beating the Old Firm twice, home and away. They've had an Edinburgh Derby win at home. They're clear in the league. You're 20-odd games in. To fall away at this point, yes, that they might underperform compared to what they've started the season, but I just don't see a capitulation, if that makes sense.
Tom, you're totally right, and everyone, well, not everyone, but such a large portion of Scottish football fans keep comparing that Aberdeen drop-off to Hearts drop-off. It's not even in the same wheelhouse, at all. Hearts have what they've done so far, and what they've sustained, and that's even since being top of the league, at the turn of the year and everything like that. They're doing something completely different, and the mentality is clearly much different to what Aberdeen's was under Tilleen in that first season. It's chalk and cheese. So I think that comparison's a really lazy one that a lot of people are throwing out there. That this is totally different, and Hearts are strengthening in January as well. They've made a couple of signings already. It doesn't look like they're finished with the window too. Those signings have made an instant impact as well. So it doesn't look like the recruitment's fallen off a cliff as well. So I think it's exciting. It's brilliant. I want them to sustain this form because they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. As you said, they've already had their blip. They've pulled out of that, and they should be going from strength to strength now.
And they can prove that they can go through another blip like that where they drop points and they can still come out 6 points clear. So. That's the JITs. That was all stemmed from Craig Gordon's moment of
one last thing on that.
Goodness if you're Andrew, or brilliance if you're us.
The Craig Gordon thing's mad because remember that time when the Romanov, where it was like Presley, Hartley, and Gordon were like doing that press conference. Now fucking Stephen Presley fucked off, went to Celtic, retired, got a degree, did some shit down south, came back up, he's a manager Dundee, and then fucking Craig Gordon pops up and makes that save to deny his team a draw. It's mad. Like, Gordon's still playing.
It's mental.
What's it, fucking 30 years later or something? It's unbelievable. The
resilience he's got to come back from that leg break as well. When he was already 40 or 41 at that point, and still want to play first team football.
Fuck, man, the guy's got it all. Like 7 foot tall.
He does have it all. Yeah.
Chiseled jawline.
Yeah. Absolutely. Probably got a big
Anything
dick
else?
as well.
Oh, there we go.
Lowering the tone. You sick bastard.
If Craig Gordon doesn't, there's one man who definitely
Comment
doesn't.
down below. Do you think Craig Gordon's got a massive dong? Let us know your thoughts on that. Like it if you think he does. Thumbs down if you think he does.
No, the thumbs up are purely for your segment. Don't get the likes confused now. Come on.
Oh, the Craig Gordon lovers. Come on.
Smash that like button. Right, McFratham is the last one. He had a moment of brilliance away at the San Siro at the weekend, and I think Napoli had drawn 2-2 against Hellas Verona at home in their previous game. They were slipping down into third place. They were a few points behind, and they were 2-1 down against Inter, and up popped Scott McTominay with another volley into the bottom corner away at the San Siro with a brace. So I think the question here is Scott McTominay a world-class player in his position? Quite a simple question. Yeah?
Absolutely. I think he's got some decent goals in his locker, but he's so capable of taking a game by the scruff of the neck. And you look at what big team would he not slip into quite nicely at the moment? Particularly a big team that's maybe underperforming, struggling. You look at Real Madrid. They've just got rid of their manager, and someone like McTominay. I know this seems a mental thing to say, but someone like McTominay would be more than capable of going in and setting a standard. And showing that, right, we're not going to give up on a result. I'm going to be a difference maker in a game. And he can play in so many different ways as well. He's not just about scoring nice goals. He can do the dirty stuff. He can play from box to box. You can literally stick him in just about any position on the park as well. So he's the ultimate team player. So for me, I think he absolutely is in that world class bracket. But so many English football fans definitely discount and poo-poo that immediately because they just don't rate him from being a sort of Man United reject, going to Italy and looking quite nice. He's a totally different player now, and Man United, he would be the best player at Man United if he was there right now. So,
wow,
I'm not buying any of that.
So his best position on the pitch is probably a traditional number 8, I guess, the sort of box-to-box midfielder. He's not a 10, he doesn't just sit behind the striker and stay in there. He's not a 6, he doesn't just sit in front of the defence. He is capable of doing both those jobs, though, which makes him so versatile. Matt, other sort of number 8s or central midfielders in the world, what sort of player is he around if he's going to be world-class?
I mean,
who's he similar to?
What are you thinking of? You're looking at that Real Madrid team. As Andrew said, the midfield, what is it? Tchouaméni and Camavinga aren't really doing that much. Barcelona, I don't even know who plays in centre mid for Barcelona. Bayern Munich, again, there's no standouts there really. They've got more players further forward. In the English Premier League, Arsenal, maybe Declan Rice vibe. Maybe
Declan Rice is a sort of 8, isn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The way he's playing for Arsenal at the moment, box to box.
105 million quid for Declan Rice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
200 million for McTominay. Who's Man City? Again, like De Bruyne, perhaps. Maybe not as creative as Kevin De Bruyne, but I don't know. They don't have anyone at the moment either. Man City, they're kind of going through a bit of a transition. I think Andrew's right. I think he could come into any team in the world. Perhaps maybe not like Barcelona with their tippy-tappy nonsense, but any team that values physically strong, demanding. I think he would suit Real Madrid. I think his attitude is great. His mentality is, he's a mentality monster. I think Man U misused him or didn't play him enough. But again, he was in a fucking batshit Man United team that was struggling at times. So clearly they fucked up selling him. But he's great, and it's great news for Scotland that he's scoring again this season, back to some, because that's what we need him to score, his goals for us in the World Cup. and then he'll win the Ballon d'Or next year.
So the 18th, he'll be up in number 1. He's one of the best ball carrying midfielders that I've seen in the last few years. Like you think of players like Rodri, for example, at Man City, who breaks play up, finds passes, almost that Busquets or Makelele role, whatever you want to call it. You think of the Frank Lampards of the past, who were box to box to an extent, but more arriving late and scoring goals, which McTominay does do a lot of. But ball carrying midfielders that pick the ball up in deep positions and dribble through a midfield, then find a pass, or get the ball in the opposition half and then drive to like a wide space to find a pass. He doesn't just like get the ball and pass it. He moves with the ball, and for a big guy, his touches come on so much. He's almost got the John McGinn effect sometimes of being able to shield a ball and turn a player. Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm not biased in any way. I'm definitely not wearing the McTominay merch, but he's world class without a shadow of a doubt. I think to be world class, you need to be in a sort of bracket with 4, 5, 6 other players in your position, and he's definitely doing that for me. So yeah, big middle finger to Man United.
Yeah, definitely. If they were serious about a rebuild, you would take him back at any cost and stick the armband on him, because he would be the one that would really set a standard there. But they're an absolute joke club, so
yeah, they're not going to fucking do that. Sorry to Mr. Wise if you're listening. Did you see the Kate Abdo or Kate Scott interview with McTominay?
I didn't.
A few weeks ago.
No.
Nah, I should have maybe sent it across before now, but it was just almost all about his mentality. That's what I learned from it. Like, he's so focused to recovery, he's so focused on performing and like improving on every single aspect of his performances. And he wrote after the Hellas Verona game on social media like a sort of apology to the fans, even though they got a draw, coming from 2-0 down, I think. Sort of wrote an apology and said, look, next time we'll be better. Then goes out to the San Siro and scores 2. It's mentality is the key word, like Matt was saying. Mentality monster. So
absolutely,
and he's Scottish. He's ours.
That's rare now, though. Like at the top level, that is rare to have not just that mentality, but to also understand the context of each of these situations. You know, so you've Italy famous for having very demanding fans. You know, across various teams, various big teams in that league. But, you know, you need players that get it, absolutely get it. They understand the draw's not good enough. They understand how to react to that. And he's dragged his team through that following game, you know. So you can't get it any more than he understands, you know, what it is to play for Napoli. But, I would be screaming for him if I was in the market after the World Cup. If he has a good World Cup, I mean, he could go for some serious money.
Of course he is. John McGlynn's going to take him to glory. I think for Scotland, though, weirdly, I think we're a worse team when John McGinn doesn't perform than when Scott McTominay. I think John McGinn's more important for us than McTominay is.
Because due to probably the way that we play, though. But
he's not technically a better footballer, I don't think.
He's not.
But I think, he's more important for us. You've noticed when McGinn goes missing, Scotland are miles off it. McTominay for a few games in that qualifying campaign was off it, and we still managed to get results. So, for me, but John McGinn recently has been on form as well. He got a brace against Forest, and he seems to be back to his very best. So,
West Ham are in the market for him as well at the moment. So
that's laughable. That's absolutely laughable.
West Ham. They're
John
having
McGinn?
a rotten season. Yeah.
Don't go there,
Why
John,
would he want
please,
to move from Villa? You know, it's crazy.
He's building himself into a club legend. He's absolutely adored. He's the captain. He's in a Champions League team. You're going to go to West Ham, who are the biggest Tinpot club beside Man United that there is in that league.
Not going to happen.
Just clickbait.
Disgraceful. Clickbait.
We've been baited.
At least he doesn't have to get a new shirt. He just wears the same one, and then
turns it inside out.
Irons. Right, on to a quiz if you guys are keen.
Yeah.
In a world where sponsorship is more accessible than ever, that world exists at sportsponsorship.co.uk. Whether you're interested in making a difference to your local community or further afield. Or perhaps you're looking for access to tens of thousands of followers online to push your brand further than ever. Get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk. That's sportsponsorship.co.uk.
About protein.
Let's go for it.
It's not about protein, mate. Nah. Maybe
How many
a few
grams
of
of protein
Yeah.
does 100 grams of chicken breast have? It actually has 25 grams. Interested? 25 grams.
You're a fuck.
That is interesting.
Guess how much protein's in a little packet of fridge raiders?
I
9.
couldn't even guess.
Mate, this was a quiz
9.
like 2 weeks ago, was it not? Tam's fucking 33 nonsense special. Is that the same as that?
What is the sell-by date on the baby bells?
Yeah.
I did that joke as tongue-in-cheek to laugh at Wilfred Nancy, and you still don't understand the humour, Matthew. It shows where your mind's at. You
Matthew.
bloody idiot.
Yeah, Matthew.
Oh,
Right, 10 clips coming up for you, audio clips. Hopefully they play through for the listeners and for you, Matthew, and you, Andrew. You can hear what's going on.
Okay.
Each clip is 15 to 30 seconds of a manager giving an interview, and there's 2 points per clip. You need to tell me who is the mystery manager, and I'm going to ask you a question about each clip. And we'll listen to one, and then we'll ask you both for your answers. You can just speak them out. I'm going to trust that you're not going to copy the other person. And we'll score away, and it's out of 20 points.
Who are you?
Yeah, nice. Well done. That's the Who.
I really want.
Okay, clip number 1, if Matthew can stop singing. Okay, thumbs up if you can hear it.
No talking about that just now, David. Football's a great thing, football. Let's talk about that. It's a beautiful game. We'll beat the European champions. You can talk about that in your get the girls, your gossip columns or your front pages, whatever you want to do. Let's talk about the real stuff, football.
And you consider it might be something that is spoken about after this game, and particularly in the corridors of power.
Do what you want.
Okay, so who is the mystery manager, and what was he not wanting to talk about? What incident? I'll play it for you again.
You have to buzz, or
Is that a serious question?
No talking about that just now, David. Football's a great thing, football. Let's talk about that. It's a beautiful game. We'll beat the European champions. You can talk about that in your get the girls, your gossip columns or your front pages, whatever you want to do. Let's talk about the real stuff, football.
And you consider it might be something that is spoken about after this game, and particularly in the corridors of power.
Do what you want.
No need to buzz. Write your answer down or remember it, and then I'm going to come to one of you to give both your answers. Who's the mystery manager? What was he talking about? And then the other person's going to answer, and then we'll score, and then we'll go on to the next clip.
that's what you said, yeah.
Are you just let me know when you're ready, guys?
Okay, ready.
It's all over to you. Matthew's ready.
I'm
Since you've
gonna
got a pen, Andrew, I'm going to ask you to write yours down just so that we
I
know
have,
that.
I have written my first bit down. I'm just really thinking about the second bit, but right, I'll just have to go for it.
I'm not wanting to talk about that. We've just beaten the European champions, so let's talk about football. That's kind of roughly what you said.
Okay.
Okay, Matthew, who is the mystery manager?
I think it's Gordon Strachan.
Andrew, in agreement?
Yep, I've got Gordon
Yep.
Strachan.
And what was he talking about, Matthew?
Someone getting pished.
Someone getting pished? Andrew?
Samaras getting kicked in the nuts.
Oh, Samaras getting kicked in the nuts. Both wrong. He was talking about the Celtic fan that ran on the pitch at Parkhead and slapped Dida
Class.
in the 2-1 victory at Parkhead. So a point each in clip number 1.
Class.
On to clip 2. Who's the mystery manager? And what was he being asked about that he didn't think was a serious question?
Is that a serious question? Yeah, we're fine. I don't even remember it. We're fine. Okay. It's emotional on the touchline, eh?
Pretty sure you won't need to hear that one again. So who's the mystery manager, and what was he asking? Is a serious question.
I can see the interview as well.
I'm ready.
Okie
What the
dokie.
fuck was it about?
I'm going to let Andrew finish his answer. You can hear him scribbling away like a little squirrel squirreling away the nuts into the tree.
Yeah, we're not fucking doing an exam, mate. Son, one word.
All right, okay, I'm done.
Matthew?
Is it Steve Clark?
Andrew in agreement?
No, shit,
Oh.
I had that completely wrong. I was thinking it was a completely different interview. I had Walter Smith.
It is Steve Clark.
Ooh, yeah.
So Matthew
Oh,
gets a
man.
point there. And what was he
Someone
Asking was a
not
serious
shaking
question.
His hand, maybe.
about a handshake? Andrew?
I just said something about Graham Souness.
Something about Souness. It was neither of those. It was when Steve Clark and Austin McPhee were rumoured to be falling out on the touchline, and the press were asking them, have you made up? And that was Steve Clark's response.
Classic
So
Clark.
it's Matthew on 2, Andrew on 1. Clip number 3.
It's not as if they were doing a conga in the dressing room, dancing baccarat, or travelling up and down a train journey from London to Glasgow with COVID. So I think we've been harshly treated. I want to apologise to our supporters for the fallout. It shouldn't be Peter that had to do it. It should have been me. It was my decision, along with the backroom team, the medical staff, sports science, to go with the best intentions for the benefit of the team going forward for the second half of the season.
Okay, so who's the mystery manager, and what incident is he discussing?
Nope, all good.
Oh, Struggy's locked right in. Confident with this one.
I don't know. I'll have to guess the reason, but yeah, obviously know who it is.
Up point. Matthew, who's the manager?
Neil Lennon.
Yep. Andrew, is that I assume
Yeah,
who you've got? Yep.
Yeah.
And what was he discussing, Matthew?
When Celtic went away on holiday during the season, and there was a picture of him and like Bruni on the sunbeds having pints and that. Everyone was raging.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I'll be kind and give you the point. Yeah, it was their trip to Dubai. I was hoping you might remember where they went, but yeah, I think that would be harsh to knock a point off for that. So
I agree.
yeah, it was their mid-season trip away to Dubai, and they had one day off and were on the bev, and the media were questioning them on it. And Neil Lennon chose to have a go at the Scotland team for doing the conga to baccarat in the changing room after qualifying for the Euros. So it's Matthew on, I think, 4 points, Andrew on 2, and on to clip number 4.
I think you've got to cut through the venom of it, and hopefully I'll reflect and understand it, what he's saying was absolutely, it was ridiculous. But I think it was an angry man. I think he's disturbed for some reason or other. That's all I've got to say about it.
Would you dispute any of the things he said? Because he claims they're facts.
Oh, well, they're not, because I think it's well documented, but I'm not going to get into that because at this moment in time, I think we should concentrate on chasing the leaders.
Okay,
There you go.
I'm good.
That was clip number 4. Who's the mystery manager, and who is he describing as an angry, disturbed man?
I think I know this one. I'm good. Whatever Andrew's finished
You
writing.
said
his
that. Jesus
book.
Christ.
Paragraph 4.
Poor Andrew.
Well,
Just
you're
trying to write
not
down his
fucking
answer.
writing anything down, you fucking jobby.
It's all in here, son. It's all in here.
Well said. He's just trying to get in your
Fuck's
head,
sake.
mate. Rise above it.
Right, okay, fine. I'm finished now.
Using joined up letters,
Okay.
are you?
Yes, I am.
Matthew,
Fucking
who's the
jobby.
mystery manager?
Sir Alex Ferguson.
In agreement, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yep. And who is he describing as a disturbed man?
Rafa Benitez.
In agreement?
No, I said Arsene
Oh.
Wenger being a jobby.
It was Rafa, yeah. He came out on a rant saying everything he was saying about Fergie was facts, and that was Fergie's retaliation.
Disturbed, man. Classic Fergie. Disturbed.
So it's a 6-3 game. Moving on to clip number 5.
We'd be as well not turning up today. We couldn't win today. I think one of the more ballsy referees, and he will give decisions today, didn't. I think he knew the importance of the game for Rangers. Forget about, let's not bother about Dundee United. It's all about Rangers. It's all about Rangers. Most important game today is Rangers game.
Okay, who's the mystery manager, and which referee was he criticising in that clip? I blocked out the name if you didn't notice halfway through.
Oh, that's tricky.
Oh, Matthew's not locked this one in quite so quickly, has he? I know who it is. I've got it. I'm done.
I don't know who he's talking about. I know who it is, but I didn't want to say anything in case Andrew got put off his writing. 4 words, mate.
4 words. Alright, fucking on you go then.
I would accept just 2 words, to be fair. Surnames are okay.
Okay. I'm just going to have to guess, but I don't think it is him.
Matthew, what are your 2 names?
Craig Levine.
And?
Stuart Dougal.
Craig Levine, Stuart Dougal. Andrew, your 2 names?
Craig Levine and an early Willie Collum.
Oh, it was Craig Levine and Mike McCurry.
Ah, Mike McCurry. Classic.
Mike McCurry was one of the more ballsy referees.
I was going to go Dallas, but
Dallas.
I just went to Collum.
Dallas, good TV show. Right, it's 7 points to 4, so all still to play for, and it's interview number, is it 7 now, I think?
6.
6, apologies. So the question here is, who's the mystery manager and which team's players is he referencing?
Which
I
team?
know some of the players. They have been training with me dos, tres, cuatro times. And but I've not seen them play.
So who's the mystery manager and which team's players is he referencing?
Dos, tres, cuatro. Why even bother with that?
I'll give a point for the correct team of players that he's referencing, and I will give an extra bonus point if you get the extra little detail needed.
What's it? Alright, okay.
Something I'm not telling you, but if you can get the extra little detail about the team.
So we have to say the team that he was talking about, not the team he was at.
Well, the team he's referencing in that clip, yeah.
The team he's referencing in that clip.
Yep.
Maybe he was referencing. Okay.
Matthew, what's your 2, maybe 3 answers?
David Moyes.
Both got that, yep.
And
And the team?
Was he referencing when he was manager of Real Sociedad, perhaps?
Which team was he referencing?
They're themselves.
Themselves, so Real Sociedad. Okay, Andrew, your answer?
I wrote the same thing, yeah.
Wrote the same?
Same thing, yeah.
Correct, 2 points each. That is spot on. I would have given the Brucey bonus point for the Real Sociedad B team, because they were talking about the B team players bleeding in with the first team.
Dos.
But you didn't quite go to that level. But good scoring. 9-5. Is that 9-5? So it was 7-4.
Probably,
no,
yeah.
9-6. 9-6. Interview number 7. What we're looking for here is who's the mystery manager and whose red card does he believe was completely unacceptable?
I've used the words that I'm sick fed up of it, and I'm sick fed up of it. I am, and the fact that that's your opening question and you asked me it the way that you have done, I'm looking every single one of you in the eye here, and we're all seeing this the same way. I think it's completely unacceptable that in our game at the top flight that you brandish a red card for that instant.
There we go. This is the hardest one, I think, on the list. Who's the mystery manager?
Again, please.
And whose red card does he believe was completely unacceptable? Here it is again.
Yeah,
hang on. Whoa. We never played a second one. Absolutely fucking not. No chance.
Why not?
Because you're fucking jobby. We've not played the rest of them twice. Sometimes I could have been doing with it twice.
You never asked.
Well, they're all open to be played again, but I will make a rule from now on that no more replays. That's fine. If Andrew's going to be a little stick in the mud. Do we have answers, lads?
No.
I have the first one. I'm going to just have to guess the second one.
Okay. Who is the manager? Matthew?
Stuart Kettlewell.
Andrew?
Yeah, same.
That's correct. 1 point each. And who is the player he says the red card was unacceptable? Matthew?
A Motherwell player from last season. McGinn.
And Andrew?
I've written George Stranger.
It's not either of those answers. It was Dan Casey.
The
I'd say would be the trickiest one. 10-7 the scores after that one. Moving on to interview number 8. The question here is, who's the mystery manager and which team got a penalty that he describes as shocking?
And we were fantastic. The players there devastated in the dressing room as I am myself. It's shocking.
The penalty obviously is what's turned everything. What's making you so angry?
We're back in we're in the game. It's just wave after wave after wave after wave of attack, and we've got everybody forward, and we've got there. And at 2-2, there's only one winner. You think we're going for it? And suddenly there, I turned away from the incident. The ball has gone out for I thought a goal kick. I turned away from the incident. I cannot believe he's pointed to the spot. And I'm like, honestly,
fuck is that?
It's terrific. I'll share it with you after this. You just need to watch the full thing if you've not seen it before. It's world class. Who is the mystery manager and which team got a penalty that he describes as shocking? Dead air is a crime.
I guessed a second one, but I don't know who it is.
Wait, hard to hear. I wish we could hear it again, but we're not allowed. So.
If you both agree, I'm sure, but it's quite a long one.
And too long,
yeah, we're an hour and 50 minutes in. So, Matthew, your answer for the mystery manager?
Martin O'Neill.
Andrew?
Yeah, I've said Martin O'Neill as well, yeah.
And the team that got the penalty, Matthew?
Celtic. Rangers. Celtic. Rangers.
Oh. I'll have to take your first answer, I'm afraid.
How do you be annoyed his own team getting
Andrew?
it?
I've said Rangers.
It's Juventus. It was in a 3-2 game where I think it was away in Turin. I could be wrong. 2-2. Celtic were all over them and they got a penalty. Watch the full interview. It's the most emotional I've ever seen a manager after a game. It's world class. Right, that's 11-8. Moving into the last two. And in the last one, there is 3 points up for grabs, so you could bring it back. Number 9, who's the mystery manager, and which team's players is he threatening with his standards?
Guys, if you're not training with intention, and you do 3 days out of the 5 days, you'll not be in my team. I've got a good group here, and the team, the starting 11 and the subs, they earn the right. If you want to coast, just stay at home. You're not going to it's not all that. We want to set standards at this club. And we've got to be competitive and have winning mentality. And every single day we come in this building, it's got to be like that.
It's got to be like that.
Brilliant.
So who's the mystery manager and which team's players is he threatening with his standards?
Okay, I think I've got it.
Ready to go?
Yep.
Struganout.
Mark Florningham.
Yeah.
Correct. 1 point each. And the team, Matthew?
Huddersfield.
Andrew?
I thought it was Hertha Berlin.
It was Huddersfield, that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I must have been thinking of a different one.
There's probably other clips of him chatting away in his
when he did
German
like
team.
A mad accent as well.
Yeah, there's a few clips of Mark, all world class. But that does mean it's 13 points to... It was a 3 point gap, now it's going to be a 4 point gap, so that must be 9. 13-9. So it is not able to be won by Andrew, but we'll do the last one anyway. Who's the mystery manager, the mystery ranter, and the team being referenced as cheats?
So many bookings in the game, was the attitude of the players a problem?
No, it was a big fight for both teams, and I think there was a lot of Christ.
Well, a little trouble in the tunnel there, but that reflects, I think, the way the players feel about this defeat.
Mystery manager, mystery ranter, and the team being referenced as cheats.
God, that's a difficult one, that.
Would you Adam and Eve it? Strucky's sat there shaking his bloody head because he's not enough protein.
Yeah, I've got the lack of protein shakes.
I'm struggling with that one.
I saw an Instagram DM exchange just while we passed the time between Tam Tam Cowan, almost forgot his last name, and Derek Riordan, where Derek had DM'd him saying, "You'll know when Hibs and Motherwell were playing," and they wagered a Chinese meal on the game, and it turned out a draw. So none of them got the spoils.
Chinese meal.
Succulent Chinese meal. What's the crime?
Right, Matthew. Who's your manager, your ranter, and the team?
30 votes. Christian Daly, the German.
Bastard.
3 points. Andrew?
It's nowhere near Chabal, Laszlo and Hearts.
Bugger. 16-9 then, the final scores on that quiz. Matthew, 16 out of 21 possible points there. Phenomenal stuff. Hard to beat. Any victory words, any speeches?
Nah, it was a fun quiz though, so thanks for putting it together.
Yeah, very good.
No mistakes in this one, so well done.
It's a pleasure. I had to up my game after Andrew's fantastic true or false quiz last week, which Matthew somehow only got 5 out of 10 on. If you ask anyone who's never watched football before, the chances are they're probably going to get 5 out of 10 on a 50-50 quiz. He is a host of a podcast, can only get average score of 5 out of 10. So
I'm the clown though. So just playing the role.
Hey, compared to the shots you two were firing at me when I wasn't here last week, I tell you, I listened to that episode. It was like being at my own roast.
Well, I always get it tight when I'm not on, to be fair. So,
hey, no, we gave you plenty of shout-outs when you were unwell, mate, and you couldn't make it. I was very sincere in my comments.
I've never not been on.
Sure,
so
you could fill out some comments.
Wouldn't know.
I was. Right, that's everything for episode 33. Thanks for joining us. If you're still here an hour and 20 in, hope you've enjoyed. Like I say, give us a like if you like Matthew's new what's the question again?
What's the point?
If you like the what's the point segment, or if you prefer what's the point in being the title, give us a comment to let us know. Also, Aberdeen fans, comment down below about everything we've mentioned to do with your football club. And we'll see you again next week. This is Tuesday's episode, Tuesday the 13th of January. We'll be back on Friday, the something of January.
Peace.
Goodbye.